So we've had a good look at where we've been this past year, and now it's time to turn our attention ahead to what's coming up in 2023. I want to start not with an apology, but just as an acknowledgement that there's a lot of things on this list that have TBA after them. So we haven't had a planning session yet, haven't had the opportunity yet to put these down on pencil and paper as to where they're and when they're going to happen, but we do know that they are coming. So with that caveat, let's get started. The first event to talk about is January 15th. That's World Religion Day, in which we'll be participating with the Baha'i Faith of Baton Rouge. The Baha'i faith started this day many years ago to help commemorate and to celebrate the many different religions and faiths around the world. Not to talk about our differences, but to talk about the ways that we are similar and what brings us together. This year's theme is going to be on the Golden Rule. And so we're going to hear from different religious texts and see about how that's lived out in the different faiths of the world. You'll hear more information about that event in the days to come. Sometime this winter, and again later on in the year, we're going to have a dialogue session where we come together and discuss the things that are going on in our community, hear from speakers of different faiths, and just discuss some of the things that make our community great and ways that we can work to make our community better. So keep a lookout for those. We'll get more information to you in the near future. One thing we do have a date for is our hunger walk, which we're starting up again. It's going to be at March 26th. Our hope is to do it at Pennington Biomedical Research Center there around the lake. They have a beautiful place to walk, and a partnership with Pennington that's growing makes it a perfect and an ideal place for us to do that. So keep an eye out on that, and we'll be needing volunteers to help organize that, to work at that event. So you'll hear more about that soon. One thing that hasn't been done also because of the pandemic these past couple of years is our annual community concert, Sounds of the Community. We are looking forward to having that event again soon and thinking about some different venues and ideas for that. So if you are interested in helping out with that in any way, whether it is to perform or if you have some ideas about this concert, please let me know. We'd love to hear them. As we mentioned in our previous report, we had a very successful health and taste fair back in November, and we want to have another one in the spring. Through a grant that we have with the Huey and Angelina Wilson Foundation, helps to underwrite this event. And so we want to continue to do this and expand it and to partner it with other events that are going on in the community so that we can have even better participation and attendance. So keep an eye out for that, and there'll be lots of ways again that you can help with this event. Another thing we do know the date for is 225 Gives, the annual United Way program where people give to different organizations, nonprofits in the city. Keep your eyes open for that because that's going to be on May 4th this year, and there'll be a lot of opportunities for you to contribute and to share your stories of ways that the Federation has impacted you and has been a part of your life. And then, of course, day after day during the weekday, our head cook, Tanya, and our assistant, Delina Marchand, they do a wonderful job of getting food together to serve the folks in Zion City at Cadillac Street Park. And that happens weekdays at 12 o'clock. Many of you have participated in this in the past, so you already know that you can volunteer to help serve and help prepare the meals. And we definitely need volunteers. I want us to take a step back, or maybe even a step farther, and to look this coming year at some new ideas for how we can address what's going on in that community. You all may know my background doing some community development work in Slovakia among the Romani people. That's my background and that's my heart. That's why I've talked about Holy Grail so much these past few months because I love what's going on there. But I want us to stop for a second and think about what our goal is there with Holy Grill. And our stated goal is to feed people who are hungry. But if we were to step back and take a longer look at the goal and say, what is our real goal there? Well, I think our goal is not to keep having to feed people, but to get people to a place where they can feed themselves and we don't have to feed them anymore. In that case, success doesn't look like being able to feed more and more and more people. Success looks like being able having to feed less and less. So, through educational programs, through partnerships with local schools and congregations and other organizations, my hope is to find a way to get these folks to the table together and start talking about some of these greater issues. We've done that in the past. We can continue to do that in the future so that we can address some of the real root problems that are causing the hunger and the poverty that are ongoing in that area, instead of just putting a band-aid or treating the symptoms, to really get to the root and the source and see if we can figure out what's going on and what we can do about it. I'm excited about that. I also recognize that it's going to mean having a part-time person, another part-time person come on staff who can coordinate some of that work and can keep things going and give some new direction there. So please keep that in your hat just to remember that that's going on. And if there's any ideas you have along those lines, I would love to hear. Well. So just to conclude here to talk about some of the volunteer needs that we have, of course, we always need folks who can serve at Holy Grill, who can help either prepare the meals or bring the meals and serve them there at the gym. That's Monday through Friday at around 12 o'clock each day at the gym. We also need ideas, as I mentioned, for our concert, for performers and ideas about places we could do it and what we could do as part of the program. So if you have those, please let me know. I'd love to hear them. We are hoping to expand on what we did with the World Literacy Day and the Literacy Fair back in the fall to have homework partners, mentors, people there maybe one afternoon a week at the Holy Grill at the gym there at Cadillac Street Park to work with the children that come. To read to them, to read with them, to help them in different areas, whether it be the homework that's going on or other things that they need help with at school, just to be there with the kids. So we're going to be putting out more information about that soon so that you can be engaged there. And finally, for the hunger walk that's coming up on March 26th, we're going to need people to volunteer to help organize things, to help be along the way to serve water and snacks, people to man tables there, and of course, lots and lots of folk to walk and participate. And this event is about raising funds, of course, but it's also more importantly about raising awareness about hunger, about food deserts and food insecurity. We'll be putting out more ways that you can help. But in the meantime, if you have any ideas or are particularly passionate about this, we would love to hear them. So that concludes what's going on and a look at what's coming up in the near future. Excited to see all these different things and to know that there's lots of good things in store for us in the Federation this coming year. And even more excited to meet with some of you to learn about your passion for these kind of things and to see how you can get engaged and involved in what's going on in the Federation in 2023.